Hi, I'm Wendell Steinhauer, president of the New Jersey Education Association. NJEA is committed to celebrating excellence in education. That's why we're proud to support Teacher Appreciation Week, a special series produced by the Caucus Educational Corporation celebrating New Jersey's talented and dedicated teachers.
Funding for this edition of One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been provided by the New Jersey Education Association, Wells Fargo, NJIT, New Jersey Institute of Technology, PSE&G, committed to improving New Jersey's economy and strengthening its communities, Virtua, MagnaCare, and by Cohn Resnick, Accounting, Tax, and Advisory, where forward thinking creates results.
This is One-on-One. I'm an equal American just like you are.
The jobs of tomorrow are not the jobs of yesterday.
Look at this. You got this?
Here it is, man. Look at that.
Life without dance is boring.
When you first heard that they were doing Charlie Rose and Gayle King, didn't you go, what?
Do you enjoy talking politics?
No.
People call me because they feel nobody's paying attention.
Our culture, I don't think, has ever been tested the way it's being tested right now.
Such a good question. High five.
Hi, I'm Steve Adubato. It's my honor to welcome Ann McCormick, who is a chemistry teacher at Jackson Memorial High School in Jackson Township. 21 years you've been teaching.
That is right.
Former accountant.
I am.
And then you switched over. How many years accounting?
3, maybe 4 before my children were born, and then I went back to school to get my chemistry degree. So it was a process from the time that I became a mother till I became a chemistry teacher.
Well, our partners at the New Jersey Education Association feature great educators in their classroom close-up series, and that is why we're about to introduce folks to this video that tells your story, and then we'll talk about it. Can we do that?
Sure.
Have you seen this before?
I have seen it, yes.
Well, I have not,
Oh,
and I'm going to
okay.
join everyone else in appreciating this right now. Classroom
enjoy
close-up.
it.
Let's check it out.
So the computer scientists are doing one thing, and the doctors are going, that's not exactly what we need. You are here so that you can do both. You're here so that you not only can talk the science, but you can also talk the computer talk. Everybody knows, especially in the technology area, exponentially technology is growing. For someone my age, it's almost impossible to keep up. Science knows that, and science is bringing technology into every single thing they do. The scientist that doesn't know how to use technology isn't being very successful today. And we see this as an opportunity to contribute to the world, but also to change the lives of our students. It's not just a new idea for us, but it's a new idea in industry as well, that we're going to start bringing these ideas, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics all together in a single competent individual who's going to go forward and accomplish great things. Watch now, watch this.
This is something new that other freshmen aren't, able to partake in, and, it just makes you feel special at the same time. And the studies that we're doing in this program are going to be totally different from just a regular freshman class. And this is more geared to college level classes. So in the future, it'll make a real impact into our lives. So I'm really grateful that I'm in this program.
So here we go, let's see what we've got.
It is a lot of work, but it's kind of like, you kind of know that it's gonna get you somewhere, so you're motivated to do it. I'm interested in the medical field, and I'm kind of trying to decide between being a doctor and a surgeon, but I don't really know where I want to go yet.
All right, so you're pretty close.
We have a great crisis coming in this country in the future, and that we won't have enough scientists, especially in the computer science field. We are going to have a huge deficit of people who can move us forward. And it's our job as educators to see that that doesn't happen.
All right, that had showed up different when we were doing it. It said 3 and 4 for some reason.
Oh, that's interesting. Did you note the 1 and the 2? Did you click on the, okay, well, okay. Well, let's see if we have it. Let's check. There's no sense walking away till we find out what we've got. Bam!
Thank you. Thank you.
Now, Kyle, can you put it
Don't
in
leave me
line?
hanging, Kyle. Jeez.
How much do you love what you do?
Yeah, I love what I do. I have often said, both in front of my students and in front of their parents, sometimes I feel a little guilty when I get paid for what I do, because it is a great gift. It truly is a gift. Everything is different every single day and almost every minute of every day, because every personality that walks in my room is different. And so they all are having good days or bad days. They are doing well or not doing very well. I'm having a good day or a bad day. But we come together, and we come together for one reason, and it's chemistry. And while I know a lot of people don't find chemistry to be the most exciting subject, I do.
You do?
I do.
Because?
Because I wonder at it all the time. I have never had to struggle so hard to understand anything as I do chemistry. And it's in the struggle and the success that I find so much amazement. It never ceases to give me a thrill. When something happens that's supposed to happen, something I could have predicted because of some kind of knowledge that I have, and when I can convey that to a learner, especially a first-time learner, these STEM students are freshmen in high school.
They're in 9th grade.
9th graders.
Now, they're in the STEM, what's the STEM Academy that you're doing?
The STEM Academy is a new program that we've started in Jackson. We have a cohort at Jackson Memorial High School as well as one at Jackson Liberty High School. 25 students who were chosen, who applied, who had to take a test, who had to go through many rigors to get accepted into the program. And now they will move together through high school as they fulfill the requirements of a STEM background: science, technology, engineering, and mathematics.
What could happen for them?
Great question. That's an outstanding question.
What could happen for
maybe
them?
that's what makes me most excited, because the sky is the limit. When they go off to college with the background they're going to have, any of these fields are available. And it's not just that they'll be a member of the field, they'll be a leader in the field. They will be making the kind of difference that this country needs somebody to make in the decades to come. And in education, we try really hard to meet the needs of all students. This meets the need of a special group of exceptional young people that get science and want to use technology and mathematics to explain it and to cause it to work for us. Beyond that, the STEM Academy is a trickle-down event to all of education, because when we raise the bar for these children, when we say what we've done before for freshmen and sophomore and juniors and seniors in these fields is just not enough anymore. We're going to do more, we're going to do it better, we're going to do it at a higher level. Every student who's in a program that isn't the STEM Academy but is aligned to those programs is going to benefit, because if we can do it here, well, then we can do it over here. So this has opened a door in Jackson that will never close again. It's a door for the education in these fields that is going to move forward. And we already have students from Jackson that make remarkable differences in the world. It is even going to be better in the future.
When I hear and see the level of passion and enthusiasm, when everyone watches that videotape from Classroom Close-Up from the NJEA, and I see it in your eyes right now, and you told us in the other program that you're retiring in 2 years. I mean, everyone has their own reasons for doing what they're doing.
I have a responsibility as I plan for my future.
You're at the top of your game.
Right, and I have a responsibility. It's a good question that you ask. I have, besides teaching the STEM Academy, I've also taught our advanced placement chemistry in Jackson. And last year, we were able to bring a brand new teacher in, and I was able to mentor her in anticipation of a process that's changing. We have 88 students taking our advanced placement chemistry test this year in one high school, at the Memorial High School. That's more than any high school, I'm pretty sure, in the world. That's a program.
Are you saying this is succession planning? Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying that nothing, not a program, not education, can depend on one individual. What we need to do, those of us that are experienced and enthusiastic and good at what we do, we need to convey that to our colleagues. It just so happens this teacher we brought in is a former student of mine. So, what we need to do is...
This is a rational, okay, I got it.
What we need to do as teachers is keep the process going so that long after I'm gone, we still have 100 students taking AP Chem, and the STEM Academy is vibrant, and young people are becoming scientists and changing the future of America.
Top of your game. You are the best at what you do, and I said this to the group of teachers, I'll say this to you again. You honor your profession. I can't even imagine how many young people's lives you've impacted on such a deep, deep level. And for all the parents of children in public school, we say thank you.
I am appreciative. Thank
Okay,
you.
and wish you all the best.
Thank you very much.
Stay with us. We'll be right back right after this. Thank you.
Visit us online at steveadubato.org. Email us at info@caucusnj.org. Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/SteveAdubato-PhD. And follow us on Twitter at Steve Adubato.
We are pleased to be joined by Mark Mautone, the 2015 New Jersey Teacher of the Year, pre-K special education teacher at Wallace Elementary School. How you doing?
Good.
We're about to see a video from the Classroom Close-Up series done by our partners at the New Jersey Education Association. I met you in Atlantic City.
Yes.
The NJEA convention, right? That was great?
That's right. It was awesome.
It was great.
Had a great time.
Real quick, before we see this video, how great is it being Teacher of the Year?
It's awesome. You know, you're able to visit schools, educators. You get to see what's going on in different communities. Something that you're not going to get being in the classroom, you know, all the time, you know. So it's been really great, connecting educators with educators throughout the state, even across state lines. So
you're an ambassador for educators. I just made that up.
It sounds
true.
good, but
it is true. You ready to see this video?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. I know you've seen it, I've seen it, but more importantly, you need to see it. This is Classroom Close-Up, seeing the Teacher of the Year. It's great stuff. Check it out.
Thursday, high five. Awesome job. All right.
Since 1995, Mark Mautone, a pre-K special education teacher, has devoted much of his time to doing what is best for his students.
Teasing Mr. Alligator can't catch
Selected as the 2014-2015 New Jersey State Teacher of the Year, Mark's dedication and passion is not only felt by his colleagues, but also by his students.
What letter makes it sound? J. Oh, you're so smart. Autism, I find, is a very complicated disability. It's complicated because every child I've ever worked with have always need something individualized. No, it's not a cookie-cutter approach in how we teach it. And not just in the classroom, but even the needs inside a home environment are so different. It's really a clean slate, and you need to really build a foundation for that child so that that child can learn.
Ava was diagnosed as being on the autism spectrum when she was 2.5. We did 6 months of early intervention, and then she was transitioned into the ABA program, which Mark runs. So I was always comfortable with her being in special ed. I mean, obviously, it's everyone's dream for their child to be mainstreamed, and I feel, you know, under Mark's direction, she has been able to reach her potential. He's given us hope and help when we felt hopeless and helpless. I made a lot of dreams come true.
When you're a teacher, I think you bring some of that parenting in the classroom. I think there's more of an understanding, but there's also that understanding of what goes on in your child's education as well. My son was about 2 years old. We knew he was having speech delays. We had him evaluated for speech, and we found out he had a 9-month delay. And the next day, he ended up going into seizures right at dinner. He's on medication now. He's in a preschool classroom. He receives speech. So, you know, I just want to make sure in the end that he's happy. That's it. It's like any of the children that come in my class. You took him from there. Where do you want to put him? You just want to swing him? My goal for each child is that they are able to learn to their maximum potential. Because even at the preschool, you're building that foundation. If I've set low expectations for them, then everybody's going to set low expectations for them. Don't ignore them just because, well, they have a disability. They don't know how to say hi. We'll teach it to them. It doesn't make a difference because they deserve that. I don't like to use the word success. I like to use that we're on the right path. Stop! Right at it. Did you like that song? Yeah.
How personal is all this for you?
Very. It's very personal. I think when we talk about what we go into our careers for, in education, we talk about passion, we talk about the love of learning. There's something else that you just can't describe. And it's getting children to learn when people thought it was either impossible or they've tried so many other interventions or settings or programs, and now their child's able to learn. So it's very personal. I put every ounce of what I could into my students because I think any student deserves that kind of attention.
I often think about the concept of empathy, the ability to empathize. Do you think about that?
I do.
Do you try to imagine what it might be like for these children and their parents?
You know, I don't walk in their parents' footsteps, but they've invited me into their homes, and I've been on the phone with them midnight. I've Skyped during, could be questions or meltdowns or sleeping disturbances that they need help with. I will never walk in their footsteps. The closest I have was with my son, but their life is very difficult.
Why? Describe what they're facing.
They're facing challenges that, you know, especially in the preschool level. When you have a parent coming into preschool, they don't know what's going on with their child. Their child may have just been diagnosed or not even have a diagnosis. They may just have characteristics of, but not diagnosed yet. And it's very scary for them. And you as an educator you have to be very sensitive to their needs. You have to walk them through every step. And it's more than just teaching their kids. It's about really getting to know them and understanding their parents' needs as well as their child's needs. And how can they best feel that they can help their child. I've been in many, many homes where the parents just don't feel they can give enough to their child. And they don't have anybody to turn to. I mean, we know it's a fact, resources for children with autism or special needs is very expensive. And if I can give them the expertise that I have, then I'm going to do that. And if they need other resources, I'm going to hook them up with that. Sometimes you have to break down that red tape for a child because in the end, that's who suffers.
How are you able to do all that and still do for your own family?
There's a balance. There's a balance. It's a hard balance.
Do you ever get so consumed by your own students that it's hard to keep the balance?
No. There are times that, you know, usually I put everything away until maybe my kids go to bed. And then I'll get on the email at 8 o'clock if I have to talk to a parent. If I have a meeting after school, you know, I get out at 3 o'clock. So it's that extension of outside your time. It's not just a job for me.
So someone says your job ends at 3, you say?
No, it doesn't.
When does it end?
It ends when I stop receiving emails and phone calls from parents. But it's not going to end that way. My parents know, and that's something you put down, there are a lot of needs. And sometimes I may be the only resource, but they know and they respect, you know, my family. You know, they're not going to, you know, impose on that. But I think it's how I can help that is by helping them after school or before school and bring them in for training and go home to train them. They're not going to need me as much anymore. They're going to take the lead.
And finally, the greatest reward you get out of your work is?
Watching a child learn. It's a moment that I'm going to tell you, you cannot describe it. It's a skill that you've been working on for months and months, and it's that moment it just clicks. And then they're able to demonstrate it at home. And it may be so small to us as educators because we look at the bigger picture, but for those parents and for that child, that was that stepping stone that's going to take them further than we ever knew.
It's no secret why Mark Mautone is the 2014-15 New Jersey Teacher of the Year. Thank you very much. You honor us by your presence and, more importantly, by the work you do every day. Thank you.
Thank you.
Visit us online at steveadubato.org. Email us at info@caucusnj.org. Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/SteveAdubatoPhD. And follow us on Twitter at SteveAdubato.
We are pleased to be joined by Karen Gorzynski, who is choral director at Somerville High School, part of our
NJEA partnership, Classroom Close-Up, a great series that you can see on our sister station, NJTV. You watch Classroom Close-Up?
Yes, I do.
It's a great series, right?
It's wonderful.
Well, you're in it.
I'm in it.
Tell everyone why.
Somerville High School Chamber Choir has a wonderful relationship with the students at the Midland School.
Describe the Midland School.
Midland School is a wonderful nonprofit school for special education, meeting the needs of many developmentally disabled students.
So your choral group gets together with their choral group once a year.
Once a year.
Magic happens?
I would say so.
Classroom Close-Up, it's a powerful video. Check it out.
Some nights I stay up, cashing in my bag. Karen Gorzynski and the chamber choir of Somerville High work hard to create great harmonies. But today will be about much more than perfect technique. For the past 7 years, Karen's choir has held a joint concert with Linda Lara's choir at the Midland School, which specializes in the care and development of special needs students.
In 2007, I was nominated for a Somerset County Arts Teaching Award. I did not receive the award, but Linda Lara did. And I was so moved by her work that I made sure I met her and congratulated her, but also said, I would love for my choir to work with your choir.
And I said, I'm all for that because we need experiences with the community for our students. Karen and I get along beautifully, and music is the unifying experience for us, and so we just went with it.
Mrs. Lara said Gabby is super, super excited. Not only to have a solo, but to be sharing it with somebody. That she's gonna go back and forth with, with someone else is very exciting. So, yeah, I'm already gonna cry, so. All right.
I'm really excited because this is always one of my favorite trips out of the year, and the music department here does a lot of them, but this is like the #1 that we all look forward to.
Having gone last year, the nervous energies have gone away because I've already been there, and it's just a lot of fun.
This is another example of the universal language bringing people together. I feel like it could heal the world. It's awesome.
Hi, Ellen, how are you?
Somerville High is warmly welcomed by the Midland School with high fives
I remember you from last year.
and plenty of hugs. The day will include a pizza luncheon and a concert for the Midland School faculty and students.
It's just a beautiful moment to be singing with everybody, and especially sharing the solo with Gabby. Like, I was able to sing with her and just make music with her, and it was wonderful.
It was great. I feel confident to sing Let It Go around the whole school.
Sometimes I get nervous, but Mrs. Lara just says, just let it go.
It doesn't matter what language you speak, what ability or disability you have, everyone enjoys music and can be brought together with music.
The concert made me feel most excited and happy.
I love my students, and I am very proud of what they did today. They have big hearts.
Go ahead.
I'm glad that really captures what we do. It's a wonderful collaboration. It makes me proud of my kids again when I see it. I was really proud that day, but to see it, that's really what we're doing. I can't believe it. I'm happy other people are going to see it.
A lot of people are going to see it. What do your kids get out of it?
Boy, they get so many things. Obviously, what music can do to bring people together, but I think on a whole different level, it opens their hearts to accepting students with special needs. They would not be together unless we took this trip, because once a parent decides to put their child in Midland, there's no inclusion like in public school. So we have to physically go there for those kids to experience inclusion. And I think it's important. I really think it's super valuable. I think other teachers should find ways to reach out to special needs schools.
They don't meet until the day of.
Correct. But there's some carryover from the year before. So some of them knew each other, a lot of them did not.
Why did you reach out for Linda, the other teacher? Why did you do that?
I was so moved by her having a choir in that school. I had no idea what went on at Midland School, and that she has a choir with those kids was so powerful to me. And I just thought more people should know about it. And if I brought my kids there, more people would know. And now we ended up on Classroom Close-Up, so now even more people will know.
Yeah. Why did you go into teaching?
Oh, I just love kids. I would have taught, I thought maybe I was going to teach English. I didn't know what I was going to teach until I was in high school, but I knew I was going to teach.
This experience with your kids together with the Midland kids, what has it done for you?
It gives me, well, it's a great source of pride, but it gives me hope. Like, I hope that I am instilling in my students so much more than just the ability to read music, but to use music as a tool for good.
Music as a tool for good.
It's a lifelong interest. They can do it forever. They can use it to bring people together. They can use it for themselves if they're feeling down. You can join a choir somewhere. You can use it for your whole life.
Is music some sort of, as it was described, universal language?
Absolutely. Absolutely. You look at our society in times of trouble, people gather and sing. Sorrow, we sing. Joy, we sing.
I got to ask you this. For about a year now, I've asked people of all stripes who are leaders the most significant leadership lesson they've learned. After watching you on Classroom Close-Up and seeing the kind of leader you are, I need to ask you, as an educator, as a person, as a professional in your field, what is the most significant leadership lesson you learned?
It's a great question. I feel, in the way I lead, we have got to teach the whole child. That concerns me, that we focus on testing and those types of things, which is very important. But I was strongly led by my music teachers because it just fills human spaces that need to be encouraged, rather than strictly academic areas.
Teachers are leaders.
Every day.
Karen Gorzynski, choral director at Somerville High School, is a terrific leader, an even better person. Glad you're in the classroom. On behalf of all the parents who have their children in public school, I say this every time, I just want to repeat it with you. Thank you for everything you do every day for our kids.
Thank you for having me.
One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been a production of the Caucus Educational Corporation, celebrating over 25 years of broadcast excellence. Funding for this edition of One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been provided by the New Jersey Education Association, Wells Fargo, NJIT, PSE&G, Virtua, MagnaCare, and by Cone Resnick. Promotional support provided by the New Jersey Business and Industry Association and by Politicker NJ. Transportation provided by Airbrook Limousine, serving the metropolitan New York, New Jersey area.